Hello everyone, my name's Jake Churcher and I'm the head of products at Clearvision.
Hi, I'm Aaron Rowsell. I'm the global contractor manager for ClearHub.
And today we're going to be talking about ClearHub and a lot around talent in the Atlassian ecosystem. So I think we'll just start off by setting the scene and talking about what ClearHub actually is. So firstly, Aaron, could you tell me what is ClearHub?
Okay, thanks, Jake. ClearHub is the global contractor database for Atlassian talent for Atlassian contractors all over the world.
Okay, and what challenge is ClearHub looking to solve?
Well, there's two challenges that we currently solve, and there's no doubt more challenges to solve later on in the future. But the main two would be a shortage of talent and also finding the right people at the right time.
And what would you say that is the right time for these companies? So they have a need within their business and they're looking for solving projects and problems essentially, and they don't have the talent in-house. They haven't outsourced it to another provider, so they really need that resource in order to solve their projects and problems. When does a person start looking for talent? What prompts them to go and look for someone in their organization?
I suppose a lot of the time they recognize that they don't have the skills in-house to solve the problem, and then their natural default is to, I suppose, either go to their approved suppliers that they would normally use, or they'll go to a recruitment agency and then fairly quickly make a discovery that they don't actually have the robustness to identify the right people to deliver on the job.
Okay, so what's different about ClearHub? Why is it that the talent that ClearHub provides is better than, let's say, a resourcing company or a recruiter? Why does it stand out, especially in the Atlassian world, as a key competitor?
Well, it's quite easy, really. I suppose it's how we identify the right people. It's all very well, someone saying that I need an Azure administrator to solve this particular problem on this upcoming assignment, but how do they know for sure technically that they've got the ability to do the job? And the way in which we identify those people, not only shortlist those people, then go through various different levels of vetting. Our process identifies those people on a skills basis that actually, when it comes to us selecting that person and suggesting it to the end client, they can feel comfortable knowing that this person has been technically assessed against the requirements that they need to be delivered against to be able to deliver on the job, basically.
Yeah, and as a hiring manager myself, I can certainly feel that pain. If I think about hiring for a certain role with certain skills, it's quite difficult to find them. And having that pool of resource within a dedicated company and you can provide, it's really good. And also, if you think about vetting and testing people to ensure that they're the right person, I don't have the time for that. I don't have the money to do that. And it really adds value in the fact that we don't have to worry about looking for the right people, making sure that they can actually do the job. And it really adds value in the fact that you just get them, they can start for a certain period of time, 3 months, 6-month contractor on site, and they can help with things like the project rollouts or doing a migration as such, and really helping out the end users in order to get the most out of the Atlassian tools and follow best practice. So what else is it that ClearHub provide in terms of support once the contractor is on site?
Well, once knowing that what you know now, and the fact that we have not only gone through an assessment process, which is called a suitability assessment, to identify on going through scenario-based questions on the tools that they need to have exposure with to be able to deliver against the assignments. Once that person's been assigned to the end client, then they have also the peace of mind of knowing that they've got basically kind of like a bit of a care package, really, if you want to call it that, bit of aftercare, which is basically that the should there be any kind of technical anomalies that the contractor hasn't actually come across, then they have their own allocated help desk where they can actually raise a ticket straight through to our team of Atlassian certified consultants here at Clearvision, where they can be on hand to help the contractor. More often than not, though, it's not really the contractor has that technical issue. It's more often the team that they're working with that have the inquiry to raise, and is actually the contractor maybe is on a time sensitive assignment that he can't deviate too much from. So on, as a conduit between us and the end client, he or she will quickly raise an inquiry straight through to the team of consultants, where they'll be on hand to respond quite quickly to help resolve the issue.
Yeah, it really provides that assurance, doesn't it? I guess in terms of having a contractor on site, if there's a particular issue that he doesn't know the answer to, then he can reach out to certified Atlassian experts at Clearvision as an insurance policy, and giving the customer that assurance on site that they have fallbacks and there is backups. So that's really good. Just going back to the point of hiring versus ClearHub, and as I understand it, the cost of hiring, as I know, I'm a hiring manager, it can multiply quite quickly. And how does ClearHub help minimize the risks? You've talked about the support and the aftercare, and you've also talked about the fact that they're vetted as well. Is there anything else in terms of, if they're absent or sick in any way, what is it that can cover the company in that scenario?
Well, we try and, in many ways, we try and de-risk the business, especially, not only ourselves, but also the company that's looking to hire. And we do this by, again, putting them through the assessment process to identify that technically they've got the technical ability to do it against a job. There's also the aftercare, which we provide, which I've just mentioned about, should there be any technical problems, then we'll be on hand to still support to make sure the assignment stays on track. And should there be a scenario where a contractor, for whatever reason, is absent, be it to poor health or whatever, then our support team will still be able to sort of step in to cover and support in those unlikely events that happen. In addition to that, should the contractor leave the assignment for whatever reason, which is very rare, but let's play out the scenario that it does, then what we will commit to do is provide you an additional replacement contractor at no extra cost to the client.
Okay, so we'll find replacements if there's a problem, we can replace them with no additional cost.
Yeah, so if the contractor needs to leave and they're stepping away from the assignment, then we would actually commit, as part of our commitment to the client, is we would make it our priority to find a replacement at no extra cost.
Yeah, I suppose people are unpredictable and not everything always goes to plan. So when these kind of things happen, you need a replacement fast. So that's really good and helpful. Yeah. So just moving on to the event in Vegas that you were at, I saw lots of pictures and videos of yourself at Vegas, attending the Teams 22 event.
It was a lot of hard work.
And talent was one of their key focuses, and they sort of said over the next 5 years as well. And we speak to Atlassian experts every day, and so do yourself, Aaron. But what are some of the observations of the Atlassian Talent Marketplace at the moment? Where are the real problems, and what problems can be solved with ClearHub?
Well, as we all know, all who currently work in the Atlassian ecosystem, there's big talk around the migrations that a lot of companies inevitably have to do, be it from server to cloud or cloud to cloud. There's just lots of demand for migration experts, which we have an abundance of. We have thousands of contractors all over the world that we've put through a process to make them to classify them as ClearHub worthy contractors. But I think the other observation is the frustration that a lot of companies and Atlassian partners are having right now, where it is about there's a shortage of talent, and sometimes when there's a shortage, for the sake of filling a role, some clients have mentioned to me that they've just found someone who was relatively close enough and took a gamble, or should I say the agency took a gamble and that they were using and said, oh, this person be okay. It's more of a finger in the sky. Let's hope it works. We're in a fortunate position at ClearHub where for years now we've been building our sort of ClearHub community of Atlassian skilled contractors, and we can quickly identify the right talent. And each time we look to allocate someone, we put them through an assessment to make sure, depending on what the client's needs are, we assess them to make sure that they are able to deliver against the job, against the list of requirements that the clients would list out. But the frustrations are very much around the shortage and the timeline on which it takes to find those people. I mean, not all of those things are guarantees for anybody, but if there is a shortage, you still want to make sure that when you have that end person, they are going to be able to come in and deliver on the job, because otherwise it could set you back even further. Yeah,
it's about the right talent with the right skill sets. Atlassian is quite a niche area, whilst it's a global company and a lot of people use Jira and Confluence within their businesses. There's certain areas and skill sets like migration experts, having the ability to do upgrades, as well as the sysadmin and the project work as well. So the shortage of supply is seeing an upward pressure on day rates as well, as I understand, and it's harder to find the talent at the right rate. So what is it ClearHub does to combat that?
Well, having the experience that we have developed over the years of the marketplace, and I don't mean just Atlassian, but the worldwide marketplace of what the going rates typically are globally. As a consultancy entity that we are, rather than a recruitment agency, we're here to educate not only clients about what they should be paying or expect to pay, but also contractors as well, in terms of setting the right expectation. And I think managing expectations from the get-go is the most important thing at this time.
Definitely, I agree with that. So would you say that it's generally becoming harder to find the right contractors and talent with the required skills and experience?
For typical recruitment agencies and other Atlassian partners, yes. ClearHub, on the other hand, not so much. I think the demand for our contractors has grown a hell of a lot since Team 22, and we're dealing with a number of different Atlassian partners now, and other companies, even recruitment agencies are now coming to us asking for our support to partner up with us.
That's good.
The challenge that we now face is the growing demand that we face as a company is we need more talent. We still want to grow our empire even more. We certainly dominate the market already, but we're not done yet, and we still want to keep that going and keep it growing to support all the different entities that are out there that need the support to deliver against their own assignments. So the demand that we face is also, the availability of our contractors, and at the moment, the top ones are going to be allocated relatively quickly. So it's going to be down to turnaround time and the efficiency in which we are the right people identified at the right time.
Understood. So we talked about the cost of hiring. We talked about also the fact that when we place a ClearHub contractor, they get support. We also replace contractors at no extra cost if needed. But what about the experience of the contractors? Is it important that they're ACP certified, so they have the certifications from Atlassian in order to prove that they have the skills?
I think The perception that someone having an ACP certification creates a level of prestige for a lot of companies, certainly the ones who are relatively new to Atlassian. But the reality, when it's the old topic, isn't it? Education versus experience. You know, if I was to say to you that I've got within ClearHub, someone who's growing their experience, but they've got 5 years worth of Atlassian experience and they are fully certified, got all the badges. And yet I've got another guy, and bear in mind, you've taken into consideration that you've got a very demanding project coming up where it really requires someone really technically good. And you need to have assurances that they can deliver against a job. And I've got another guy who's got 40 years of experience in the IT market space. And since Atlassian's been around, they've pretty much been there from the day one. Haven't got all the badges, maybe got one, but they've got the experience of a number of years working for multiple different firms. Which one would you choose?
The experience is key. Yeah.
It very much is experience.
Yeah, definitely.
But that being said, one of the big appeals for a lot of contractors who choose to come to ClearHub and want to work and represent ClearHub is not so much. It's not always about the kind of organisations that we're associated with that gets the opportunity to work for at some point, but it's also the ability, the fact that we can look to upskill them and give them the opportunity to further enhance their experience and achieve the badges as well. So those ones who want to be sort of getting those ACPs, then we look to support those contractors too. So it won't be long before all of our contractors will be ACP certified, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have, but again, like you say, experience is key. Yeah. And if people do go for a contractor through ClearHub, they still get the fallback of the support, knowing that the contractor has been vetted so that they can do the job, and also a replacement at no additional cost should that happen or should it be required.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the distribution of talent now. So if we think about COVID, the last 2 years, a lot of people are working from home. Obviously, the culture's changed, and we have a lot of remote workers. So how do you think the talent distribution and access to that talent has changed in the last couple of years since COVID?
The attitude overall from not only the client side and contractor side has completely changed, and there's a lot more flexibility on both sides now, which then gives all these different organizations the opportunity to work with more talent and have exposure to more opportunity to further develop their own businesses and give these contractors more opportunity to develop themselves at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. And if you think about how common now the distributed teams are, everyone working remotely, it actually opens up an opportunity, allowing for a wider search and more competitive rates as well for contractors. So I think it's definitely a plus. And no, that's really good. If we think about the other services that Clearvision offer and also other partners as well, in terms of outsourcing a solution to a support team versus ClearHub, actually having a contractor on site that's embedded in the organization, providing support to the end users and really getting stuck in with the projects, a bums on seat person that's really getting involved in the organization, whiteboarding sessions, etc. How do you think that compares with some of the services that Clearvision offer, and when's the right time to choose ClearHub?
So how it compares is it's very much long-term support, anything from a month onwards, really, where you need someone Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day, in some cases even part-time, where they'll be working with the end client, then that's very much going to be ClearHub all day long. I think when it comes to having someone sort of step in every now and then for a couple of hours a month or something, then that's very much going to be Clearvision on, and how that will be identified may well be through some sort of discovery to identify the level of support required. It could be through an experts on demands type of route, or very much could be that they need someone to oversee from afar, which may come over to the total support side of things, which you obviously know a lot more about than I do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of total support, we do the administration, consultancy, training, configuration, and we help the people that are on site, so the Jira gatekeepers or the administrators that need that additional support. Whereas ClearHub provides that embedded person in their organization. So I think that's the real difference, but they tend to complement each other quite well, the two services. If you think about having a ClearHub person on site, doing the day-to-day, whilst Clearvision provides support as part of that ClearHub service, if there's a high volume in terms of administration, training, etc., then the ClearHub contractor on site can work quite well with the total support package that can add value in both ways, I think.
Yeah, I think the good thing about the total support offering is that it can work in tandem with ClearHub quite well, which then identifies to the Atlassian economy or ecosystem, shall I say, sorry, is that no matter what your support level, Clearvision can provide it.
Definitely. Okay, one random question here, Aaron. What would you say most organizations hire a contractor for? What type of work or challenge do these organizations have that require an Atlassian expert?
There's normally one or two things. It's either that there's a skills gap, which is the most common. They simply don't have the ability in-house to solve the problem themselves. So it could be that a company's bought the software and everything that they need, from Atlassian or from a partner, but they haven't got anyone in-house to integrate it and implement it into the business.
And what's the type of work? So just to go a little bit more granular there, the type of work that they're there to do most of the time, what is it they need? Is it a migration or upgrade, or is it just the general day-to-day?
More recently, it's been a lot around upgrades at the moment because of the timeline that's set by Atlassian. But in other instances, they may already have Atlassian teams, and it may well be that they are against a time-sensitive projects, and their team isn't large enough to deliver against it. So they need an extra pair of hands to step in to work alongside the team, which is where ClearHub would step in as well.
Yeah, if we think about the end of life coming February 2024, a lot of people are going from server to cloud or data center, and having that talent on site that you can depend on to help with the migration, provide value in the Atlassian teams to ensure that they're following best practices when migrating from server to cloud. I think that is very important and very valuable.